Thursday, April 18. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Jamaica Eye, the state-run network of surveillance cameras designed to monitor public spaces and help the police crack cases, is expected to become fully operational by September.
The Jamaica Eye program will become fully active by September across the corporate area, Spanish Town, Ocho Rios, Negril, and Montego Bay, with approximately 1,000 camera feeds to be monitored. It will have the requisite monitoring system to collect and store high-quality footage that can be used as evidence in our courts. We'll further ensure that private citizens and businesses with cameras facing public spaces, may I emphasize, public spaces, are able to provide camera feeds to Jamaica Eye, creating a comprehensive digital third eye to observe much of the island's public spaces. This, of course, Mr. Speaker, will enable faster, specialized responses and enhance the capacity of our selected surveillance of selected areas, thus increasing the safety of all Jamaicans.
Very good.
This Jamaica Eye investment in Jamaica Eye will give the police the appropriate counter strategy to intercept, curtail the movements of criminal gang members, the dons and their facilitators across Jamaica.
Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang, who made the announcement on Tuesday, disclosed that this was one of 5 areas in the Jamaica Constabulary Force set to benefit from the government's capital injection of just over $5 billion during this fiscal year. As part of the $5 billion investment in the JCF, Chang said that some $600 million will be spent to begin the process of retooling the communication system, which, according to him, has been allowed to deteriorate.
At one point, this police force had the best telecommunication system in the country. It was used by all, the army, emergency, and etc. Sadly, it is allowed to deteriorate and become a totally degraded system, to the point where divisions can hardly communicate among themselves. Indeed, only recently in a robbery in Montego Bay, the police car that was within walking distance of the crime scene had no communication, and the car that was miles away in traffic was trying to get to the crime scene because there was just inappropriate communication. We have therefore included in this budget well over $600 million to begin the retooling of the telecommunication system of the entire police force.
The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, is to be made fully operational with the passing of regulations which will be tabled in the House of Representatives by the end of April. This will give effect to the provisions of the MOCA Act, which include the establishment of MOCA as a statutory law enforcement agency that will have operational independence and authority. This disclosure was made by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang as he opened the 2019-2020 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on April 16.
MOCA will bring new energy, will receive the fiscal and legislative support from this government to dismantle the criminal gangs that utilize all sectors of business, public and private resources to undermine our social institution and profit from the gains of illicit activity. Mr. Speaker, we are going there without fear or favor. We'll aggressively pursue ruthless crimes as we seek to disrupt organized criminal networks that corrupt our institutions. MOCA will ensure that corruption has no place in the new Jamaica. This is our FBI.
MOCA will be dedicated to combating serious crimes in collaboration with other local and foreign law enforcement agencies and strategic partners. The agency will have a dedicated and specialized team that will investigate and prosecute the complex cases that are characteristic of organized criminal networks. The National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, NAFTA-TIP, has received some much-needed donation to boost their crime-fighting efforts. For the 3rd consecutive year, a donation of $1 million to assist in the fight against human trafficking and, more specifically, to bolster investigation of suspected cases of trafficking, especially child trafficking cases, was handed over yesterday. The check was handed over by President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Omar Robinson. The funds will go directly to the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse and the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Anti-Tip Vice Squad branches of the JCF, which have responsibility for crimes which fall under the sphere of human trafficking. The Ministry of Labour will be taking legal action against security companies that are underpaying security guards and breaching labour laws. This follows instructions by the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee for the ministry to investigate complaints by the Jamaica Society for Industrial Security that some companies contracted by government agencies are paying the guards below minimum wage. Permanent Secretary in the Labour Ministry made the disclosure at Wednesday's sitting of the PAAC.
That the Ministry of Labour takes the protection and the rights of workers very seriously. And the matter of security guards has been a long-standing issue. Based on our investigation, we did preliminary with 14 companies, and Chairman, I must say that, the matter of resources has come up, and we're not a ministry that have all the resources to do everything that we need to do within the time period. So we have visited a number of companies, and I think based on the discussion and what was said by Mr. Overton, our report certainly validates what he said, where we reported that by and large companies do pay the single rate, but they have not been paying the overtime rate. Some companies do pay the holiday, and the report is there, which speaks to it.
The Ministry of Labour visited 14 security companies and said preliminary findings confirm that some of the claims by the JSIS is true. Mrs. Roberts Resden told the PAAC that some of the companies have not been paying overtime and holiday rates as mandated by law. She added that one of the two companies the ministry received complaints about was issued a government contract. The Permanent Secretary said the security companies which were investigated have been urged to take immediate action to correct the breaches. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Favour Williams is encouraging operators of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to utilize technology for efficiency and profit-making. She was delivering the keynote address at the opening of the Small Business Association of Jamaica's 2019 Caribbean MSME Conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston on April 16. The minister said that with the World Economic Forum pointing to the technology revolution, connecting billions of people via mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, this holds tremendous growth opportunities for the sector. The three-day event is being held under the theme Improving Sustainability Through Resource Development. Mrs. Williams said the use of social media as a business engagement tool, and with a vast amount of people transacting a business online, e-commerce is expected to become the largest retail channel in the world by 2021. The Registrar General's Department, RGD, has revised its record updating application forms as part of efforts to improve customer service delivery. The forms that have been modified are those used for re-registration, late entry of names, late registration of births and deaths, and correction of error, whether birth, death, or by marriage. The RGD's Customer Care Manager, Trudy Edwards, said that the entity has commenced issuing the revised forms at all its offices, but will continue accepting the old forms up to October 1, when they will be phased out. Edwards further noted that beginning May 1, all revised forms will be available on the RGD's website at www.rgd.gov.jm. She pointed out that the forms have been revised to provide customers with additional information through a step-by-step guide to the various application processes. The forms detail requirements for the application process, including documents that should be submitted to the RGD, procedures to complete same, and whether interviews were required, among other things. Gas prices will be going up again this week. The state-owned oil refinery Petrojam says E1087 and E1090 will go up by $3.07. E1087 will sell for $136.53 per liter, and E90 will sell for $139.36 per liter. Automotive diesel oil will go up by $1.30 per liter to sell for $135.14. The price of kerosene will move up to $2.29 to sell for $114.44. Remember, retailers will add their markups to the announced prices. And the U.S. dollar on Wednesday, April 17, ended trading at Jamaican $134.25, up by 46 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $100.71, down from $101.15. While the British pound sterling ended trading at $174.52, up from Jamaican $173.50. In regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, EBC, has denied taking specific steps to ensure a victory for the ruling People's National Movement, the PNM, in the next local and general elections. It insisted on Wednesday that it was not involved in any attempt with or without the PNM to change polling stations to ensure the main opposition, the United National Congress, the UNC. The allegations was made by the opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar at a recently held UNC meeting. But speaking on radio program on Monday, EBC Communications Director Bobby Rogers urged the opposition leader or anyone with evidence of unethical behavior to come forward.
The EBC views these statements and allegations of corruption and collusion political parties with no evidence of this as unfortunate, because we believe that these statements have the potential to erode the credibility of this institution. We strongly believe that should an investigation reveal any evidence of impropriety, the EBC gives the public every assurance that any perpetrator will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, as we are prepared to, and we have reiterated this position, to assist in any investigation. We will remain committed to ensuring integrity, accountability, and transparency in all our operations.
She also insisted that the ECB had done nothing untoward or unethical with regards to polling stations.
We are required to review the number of boundaries and constituencies into which Trinidad and Tobago is divided for the purpose of elections, and these reports are submitted to Parliament. The EBC is required to do this by the law, and we have since submitted the 2019 report of the Election and Boundaries Commission on the review of the constituency boundaries pursuant to Section 72 of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has also dismissed the allegations from the opposition leader. Over in Guyana, the government has denied allegations that orders were issued for the arrest of the opposition leader, Bharat Jagdeo. We get more in this story from News Source Guyana.
The Ministry of the Presidency, in its statement, he said it wants to make it clear that no such instruction to arrest the opposition leader was issued by the head of state, any minister of government, or any government official. The government said it is of the view that the Constitution, to which every Guyanese is subjected, is supreme. And if a violation has occurred, then by all means the law must take its course. The Guyana Police Force must carry out its functions without fear or favor, the statement said from the Ministry of the Presidency. And State Minister Joe Harmony reiterated the point in Berbice.
A question has been asked of me about whether in fact the government of Guyana has any hand in the charges filed against Mr. Jagdeo or any arrest of Mr. Jagdeo. I want to make it pellucid that the government has not. the ministry of the president in particular, or any government minister or the president, has not given any instruction whatsoever to the police. The police, as the law enforcement agency in this country, they have to do their work. And if anyone breaches the law, then no one is above the law. Anyone breaches the law, then the police, they are authorized to take action where they are concerned. In their own deliberate judgment and on the advice of the police legal advisor, the police will take their own action. I want to make this very clear that we did not give any instructions to the police. The police, they are doing a professional job, and anybody who breaks the law must be prepared to face the consequences of their action.
The Guyana Police Force, in its statement, said it remains a professional organization, and any action previously or currently being taken is wholly pursuant to legal advice obtained and or to engage in investigations. The police force said it had not been issued with any instruction from anyone. And the People's National Congress reform, which makes up the largest part of the coalition government, in a statement of its own said that while the PNCR condemned the inflammatory statements by the leader of the opposition, Barra Jagdeo and Babu John, it is not part of the culture of the PNCR, in or out of government, to issue directives to the Guyana Police Force or interfere in the day-to-day operation and administration of the police force.
A Venezuela gang is operating in Trinidad and Tobago and is adding to the crime problem in the Twin Island Republic. This, according to secret intelligence reports. CNC's Mark Vassant has the details.
Guardian media saw these reports, which highlighted the worrying trend of the Venezuelan gang Evande, which they say has several hundred of its members illegally in this country. The gang has more than 650 members. This gang, the secret report says, have been responsible for several violent crimes in Venezuela, which include high-profile kidnappings and murders. The members of this gang, the secret reports revealed, have since embedded themselves with local gangs and have also sought jobs on construction sites across the country. The reports also pointed to the gang's involvement in the trafficking of narcotics and firearms into Trinidad and Tobago. What authorities have also unraveled in their intelligence reports is that members of this particular gang fled Venezuela for Trinidad and Tobago, not only to escape rival gangs, but also the Venezuelan Guardia Nacional that were given instructions to dismantle this particular gang due to their violent and heinous nature. One senior intelligence official said this is going to have a domino effect in Trinidad and Tobago. With more drug seizures, someone is going to have to pay the price. Another high-ranking intelligence officer familiar with the situation said that these Venezuelan gangs operate with a different modus operandi. Criminologist Darius Figuera, who spoke to The Guardian last Saturday, said Venezuelans have been coming to our shores under the control of Venezuela's organized criminal gang. Figuera also alluded to the fact that these Venezuelan gangs form coalitions with local gangs around Trinidad. He said those Venezuelans have already affiliated themselves with local gangland operators and they are not afraid to die. Guardian Media contacted Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith for his take on the secret intelligence reports, but he refused to make any comment. He was also questioned about Figuera's findings of Venezuelan gangs now infiltrating the country. Griffith would only say he was not in a position to say whether Figuera's comments are inaccurate. The two senior intelligence sources revealed to Guardian Media that they received credible information that at least 3 Venezuelan nationals shot and killed over the last month and a half, with some were connected to the Evande gang.
In sports, Patrick Pat Rousseau, attorney at law, businessman, and former president of the West Indies Cricket Board, now Cricket West Indies, died Tuesday night in hospital. Mr. Rousseau had distinguished careers in law and business and was perhaps best known in Jamaica and the region for his stint at the helm of West Indies cricket. And that's the news. On behalf of the PBCJ family, we wish you a holy Easter. Thanks for watching.